And is it guesswork at the moment to think about what Rangers are assembling? Will we only really know once those players are on the pitch, once Michael Beale's got them into his best starting 11? Because the signings on the face of it, I mean, I think he's about to sign a fourth striker in terms of the 6 summer signings, and that maybe underlines a key area for Rangers that was sadly lacking last season.
Yeah, so we will probably be looking at from the sort of kind of main Rangers starting 11 last season. I think you'll be looking at least 6 changes, Rob, to what happens, whether it's at Kilmarnock away from home on the Saturday night, the first day of the season, or the first Champions League qualifier. But you'll be looking at least half a dozen new players, which is always a kind of number that Michael Beale kind of thought. And let's be honest, that's what they've needed. They've needed to freshen it up because it's not been good enough the past couple of years in terms of trying to win the league. It was great 18 months ago under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst getting to European final, but they didn't win a cup last season. So a lot of those players had to go. There was natural wastage. One or two that they'll be trying to get out the door to get off the wage bill and try and bring in some money to help with the further recruitment that's required this summer. And then it's Michael Beale, whose biggest asset is his coaching abilities day to day. So that's where he's got to go and gel a team and gel them quickly. The players buy into their ideas. He notices things about his players, different partnerships that he might become apparent when they see them in training. But he'll have an idea now of what his starting 11 is going to be like. There's probably another couple that he'll want to bring in, and it's just trying to get them over the line. But Rangers had to change the menu because the previous one wasn't good enough. That's why A, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst lost his job, and B, they didn't win a trophy last season.
And it's not a given that despite signing lots of good players, you then suddenly have a great team. It worked for Ange Postecoglou 2 years ago. When he inherited a team that needed a rapid rebuild done on it, and I mean it was spectacularly successful. He had so many successes in the transfer market, but it's not a given. And it took a couple of months.
Yeah, Ange Postecoglou.
That's right.
It didn't happen overnight. It took 7, 8, 9 games. You think with a couple of bad results in Europe, then whatever group stage it was they went into, I can't remember. I think they lost it at Hearts in the opening day of the season. So it took a wee while. And eventually it got going, it clicked into place. So you can't. It might happen overnight for Rangers. You can never rule anything out, but you can't think, well, because we've got 6 new players and they all look great, we'll be fine. We'll cruise into the Champions League and we'll beat Celtic in September the 3rd and we'll get into international break 5 points clear. That might happen, but you can't take it for granted. It's a case of, at the moment, what are you doing? You're working with your players, so the fitness stuff will be pretty much done. You're now looking at your starting 11, best ways to play them together, best formation. You might not be setting a formation yet. You might be looking at the 3 centre halves, 2 wing backs. I wouldn't be surprised. I think he might be thinking about something like that. And then different things, and depending how many strikers he can get in, where he wants to play them. 1 or 2 that might still go out the door. So there's lots of wee different things to it. But ultimately, he's got, what have we got, just over 3 weeks to go and get it going before the league starts. And the league is the most important thing, Rob, but what you want to do is get into that Champions League, because it puts you on a high. Yeah. It really does put you on a high. And for financially for the club, it's a game changer, getting that kind of money in the building. And if they do, then it might give Michael Beale that last 3 or 4 days of the window to go and bring 1 or 2 more